right, hello Sooner Nation. We are a 9-2 football team, just like we all drew it up after the Ole Miss game. We all figured it's going to happen this way, so we knew that. I know me
But,
and Goss called 10-2, so that's all I'm saying.
yeah, and we're not just here. This isn't going to be 30 to 45 minutes of Jeremy and I glazing ourselves, but at the same time,
at least 15 though.
But at least the first 5. But at the same time, I mean, where are the same people who want Arbuckle fired and are sick of watching this offense and want material in the transfer portal and, have all the negative takes on this team, want their money back from Jaden Ott, anything you can say, which there's some truth in all those things. Guys, before the year, Jeremy and I both predicted this team to go 10-2. And we got called sunshine pumping idiots by our friends, sunshine pumping idiots by YouTube commenters, and pretty much our entire friends and family told us we were probably kind of stupid for that. Now, here we are on the precipice of doing that, and I still just don't think people are very happy. It's one reason, and I don't want to go into this right now, Jeremy, but it's one reason I could absolutely kill Joe C. and the Board of Regents for releasing those renderings right now. So, guys, we have positive spin. Like right now, let's freaking be positive, okay? I don't know if they were thinking, look, we beat Alabama. Now's the time to tell them we're cutting 7,000 seats. It's like, no, now's not the time. Like, you've heard of Friday news dumps. Don't dump it in the middle of your 2 biggest home games of stinking forever. But all in all, I just go on that little rant to just say this. We're 9-2, barring stupidity. We're going to be 10-2. And guys, if you would have told July, Jeremy and Steve, we'd be pretty happy right now.
Yeah. And I mean, we're going to go through a lot of the stuff on the offensive side of the ball and kind of what we think. But defensively, I'm ready to say it. It's the best defense I've seen in maybe Switzer era. Like they changed the game. They pretty much get you out of your comfort zone. I mean, Missouri was going to go for it on 4th down. We called a timeout. They called timeout. And literally, Drinkowitz just said, you know what? We probably don't have a good enough play to get through their defense. We'll just kick a field goal. You cannot kick field goals against us. You have to put up touchdowns. That is literally the only way to beat us. I mean, Ole Miss showed you that. The defense is just swarming, and it's just crazy. Yeah, there's not enough accolades you can say about them anymore.
I mean, who this defense is, Jeremy, this is the 2001 defense is what this is. Remember our 2 losses that year, I think we scored like 10 and 13 in the 2 games we lost. That team ended up 11-2. That would have been in the current system, because what did we lose? We lost to Nebraska and OSU. I think are the 2 teams we lost to that year. And
if we beat Nebraska, if Hibble doesn't fall down on the reverse pass, he fell down, Crouch fell and caught it. So that was the difference in that game. So.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what this team is, right? I mean, like to me, that's what this team just really, really reminds me of is that team. And it's a team with a dominating defense. It's got a quarterback who can be good enough. Now that team probably had a few more playmakers on the other part of the offense than what we have, but I think could this team have more NFL defensive players than that? I don't know. I think maybe it could.
They're going to be swarming at our practices next year for just our defensive line alone. I mean, the scouts are going to be drooling over the talent that we have on the defensive line. What's really funny is you look at Dominic Williams. The guy has had a good year. You're not going to notice it by his stats, but he's changed games. I mean, he's made other people look really, really good. And so it's just guys like that do little things that don't show up on the stat line that you just say, okay, they're a difference maker.
The absolute depth of our defense is what's insane. We do what we did yesterday without our Mason Thomas, without Gentry Williams, with Jaden Jackson playing at, less than 50% of what he is. I think he played 12 or 13 snaps. And, you could argue before the year, if you're going to ask me to name the 3 best defensive players on OU, I might have said R. Mason Thomas, Jaden Jackson, and Gentry Williams. And here we are playing we're combined, we got 13 or 14 snaps out of those guys yesterday. And, just super impressive, the depth, because it's different people making plays. I mean, it just always is. And that's the beauty of our defense. I mean, whether it's something, if it's Jacoby Johnson making a pick, or Michael Boganowski making the big third down stop there when they got inside the 5 there before halftime. I mean, all those things just probably don't get talked about enough. The depth and the toughness that our defense has.
Yeah, and with our Mason Thomas getting hurt, it's opened everybody's eyes to how good Taylor Wyme is. I mean, he's another guy that these scouts are going to be drooling over. I don't think he's going to come out. He is going to get a grade. He's going to look at the grades. But that said, he comes back another year and has him and our Mason, who now is probably going to come back after this injury. Can you imagine you get those two guys back on the end?
But
it's just I'm probably not, and it is my problem. I'm trying not to look at next year, but it's hard not to. When you look at it, and you say, God dang it, just go get us some pieces on offense. Get us some playmakers on offense. And we're a preseason 1 to 3 ranked team.
Yeah. And I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, all that stuff play out. And we're going to have an off season, obviously, to talk about that. But again, just want to give Taylor Wyme some more flowers of talking about the rotation, about playing different people. Taylor Wyme played every snap but 2, I think, yesterday. Okay. And it's one of those things of, is Brent's playing what works best for his talent. And, Taylor Wyme didn't come off the field very much yesterday. But, think about the growth we've seen from guys like PJ and Danny Okoye and things like that. I mean, those guys are starting everywhere else, and they're good here getting the reps that they're going to get. And, just couldn't be happier. Defensively, couldn't be happier. Just think again, still don't think Kobe's back 100%. Thought he looked better yesterday. I mean, we got a walk-on lacrosse player making tackles all over the place with Owen Heineke, a guy who I've been critical of, but at the same time, I mean, the dude just absolutely gives every ounce of effort. I mean, he's kind of the defense, kind of what Drake Stoops was offensively. There are some physical limitations, but you're getting every ounce of what's in there. Just again, Kip Lewis is a wild man. But something I wanted to touch on is I want to give Brent just some more flowers here and Jeremy touched on this earlier, the timeouts and getting Drink to, essentially wuss out. And, we spent a lot of the first 3 years of the Brent Venables experience questioning a lot of his game management things. I thought Brent managed the game really, really well yesterday as far as timeouts and substitutions and things like that. And we might want to go into this. We might want to spend some more time on defense, but anyone who doesn't think that the offense runs differently when we have a lead versus when we don't have a lead isn't really paying attention. Okay. Yeah. This offense works best when it's quick, when we're going quick. And when we have a lead, Brent does not want us to play quick. And so it does take the rhythm out of our offense. But if we have an offense that doesn't have much rhythm, but we keep getting wins, I'll take that every day of the week.
Absolutely. Wins or win. Just win, baby. It's Al Davis' motto. Another guy that you don't ever hear about who probably needs some flowers is who wasn't on our staff last year that is this year and is helping Brent?
Doug Deacon.
And also Kevin Wilson.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Kevin Wilson.
Both guys.
I mean, Kevin Wilson, you think that Kevin Wilson doesn't have a little bit of say-so on what Brent's going to him. I promise you, they have a close enough relationship. And Brent's made some calls now this season where you say, he's outcoached some guys. DeBoer, I really thought he outcoached him. Drinkowitz yesterday. I mean, these are good.
We can say the same thing with Hype, and that's not a shot at Hype, but
absolutely.
Manage that game better too.
But also, too, he knows his strength. He knows what wins him football games, and it's defense. It is something that when you look at our like 2000, the year we won national championship, they started getting recognized at the end of the year, not so much as the whole season. It was like, yeah, they're a good defense, but man, look at the points they're putting up. It's because their offense was kind of outshining it. The next year, they realized how many playmakers we had on the defensive side of the ball. And it was like, this year, it was like we went into it knowing our defense was really good. And they have basically gone well over what our expectations were. I can promise you that. So
I'm glad you said 2000 national championship year. Okay, we all remember, Jeremy, what was the score of the national championship game? We all remember that one, right?
13-2.
Okay, 13-2. The Big 12 title game, we won 27-24. The Bedlam game before that, we won 12-7. Okay, we beat Texas Tech the week before that in a home game, 27-13. Okay, that's our last 4 wins going into that. We don't score 30 points in any of those. Remember, Heupel was pretty banged up. If you remember, I think it was like an elbow thing. I'm pretty
crap,
sure.
Look at A&M. How many points did we give up against A&M? 35-31. So, I mean,
But my point being is these people acting like we have to score 40, 50 points in order to go win national titles. It's not what happens. We saw these teams that score 40, 50 points. Okay. We saw those. We've played in those shootouts. I'm glad to be out of them. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be out of them. Give me 17-6, 8 days a week. That's what real good football teams do. That's what championship football teams do. And the one thing I will give our fans who are being constantly negative, at least they're back to going to championship level negativity. And what I mean by that is, I don't think 9-2 is awesome. I don't. That's not what I want to sign up for every year. But 9-2 now is different than what 9-2 was 10 years ago. We're playing in a different conference, and there's a different system in order to make the playoff. I want to win national championships. I want to be in a place to win national championships. It's been 25 years. It's time to go get another one. And we're a lot closer right now than we have been in a very, very long time.
Absolutely. And it's just funny, the mindsets that what we had after the Ole Miss game, what we had the first half of Tennessee, where I text you and I say, I don't really care if we win or lose. We are getting on the pod tonight because I have so much negativity on this team. I have to get it all out. I mean, we were at that point, and it was literally at start of the second half against Tennessee where it seemed like we just flipped. And this team has played with almost like a chip on their shoulder. And
hard to kill, baby.
Offensively is they shut it down, guys. I mean, you can look at it. They didn't have a healthy running back. Xavier Robinson gave you everything he had yesterday. We just have to find a way to get through next week. Give him some time to rest and get our healthy running, because we are not winning a national championship without a healthy Xavier Robinson. There is no doubt about it. And that you could tell. I mean, Xavier Robinson was not 100%. Blaylock went in there maybe 2 or 3 snaps, and I think we can shut the door on Jay Knott now. I think
he did play yesterday.
Yeah. Did he?
Jay Knott got a snap yesterday. Yep, 1 snap.
When? I didn't even notice.
Yeah. See, this is what you tune in to Centercast for, folks. Jay Knott did get a snap yesterday. So he got 1 more snap than Jeremy and I did. But
did he go in the backfield?
He did get a snap yesterday. I'll be honest. I was just researching it, ready for this, and I was as surprised as you were then. I was like, oh, Jay Knott got a snap. So I'll have to go back through there. If someone wants to comment when that was, I question if maybe he was in there on the little trick play right before halftime when we handed it to Burks. Maybe that was something we had worked on, like the fake knee, and we tried to get the Burks, and maybe Ott was in there for that. I don't know where else. It's hard to tell in those Unity uniforms. It's really hard from my seat. There were multiple times. I mean, I'll be honest, I noticed in the second half that Fojay was out. I didn't notice it until the third quarter that Simmons had came in for Fojay, because it's just harder to tell in those. I mean, everyone's got the same last name. Everyone's named Unity, so it's really hard to know who that guy is. But But no, yeah. But sorry, I didn't mean to derail you
No,
on your thoughts. But no,
no,
Jaden Knott did get in the game yesterday.
I'll be dang. Well, and Taylor Tatum, like you said before,
He's not going to play.
I think he is hurt. He has been dealing with injuries, but I think they have just. I mean, it's like we have two running backs. Andy Bass was interesting to see. He was. We really didn't see anything about him, and all of a sudden he's out on the field. I mean, why not? And, you get
here's
to
the deal, though. I mean, I do think it's very important that we get X healthy and Blaylock healthy. But at the same time, Jeremy, I mean, like, we're not going to hand the ball to our running back that much anyway, no matter who it is. Yeah. That's just not who it is. I mean, we're still going to run the quarterback. I mean, probably the best game X has all year is at Tennessee, right? He had 16 carries that night. So did Mateer. I mean, we're just not going to be a team in this offense. I just don't think we're ever going to be a team that's just going to put it in the running back's belly 25, 30 times. Blaylock had 19 carries at South Carolina. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anywhere we're going to find where a single running back has gotten 20 carries. So we're looking to get probably 20 carries out of our running back. I think ideally for us, that would be a healthy 15 carries for X and maybe another 10 for Blaylock would be ideal if we're talking about by the time the college football playoff gets here. But, I just don't think expecting anything out of Ott or Tatum or anybody else, that's folly. That's just not going to happen.
And really, I feel like going forward, though, we have to become a running team. I mean, there's no way around it. If you're going to put a defense on the field like that, you got to have an offense that's built around your running game that can sustain drives, that can chew up some clock. Like, we don't need a spread offense. And I think that's kind of one thing I've learned from this season is, like, Arbuckle's probably going to have to change his thinking too, to play around your strength, which is going to be your defense going forward. Yeah. Because I promise you, our recruiting isn't letting up now, especially after all these wins that we have and our chance to play in the playoffs. And it's like our recruiting has just, especially on the defensive side of the ball, there's a lot of guys that want to come in.
And I mean, and we flipped a couple of receivers and running backs and that sort of thing too, looking at that. But at the same time, what I like about our current staff setup, and I am a keep Arbuckle guy. I think we're definitely better than we were last year. I think there's room for improvement. Obviously, I'm a keep Mateer guy. I think there's room for improvement, but I think the leadership's there. I think the team unity stuff's there. I mean, the thing that probably doesn't get talked about enough on this team is just how close they are and, how they truly celebrate each other's success. And that's something I like to see every Saturday when I'm there, is how engaged the defense is when they're off with the offense and vice versa. And the guys who never get a play are bouncing around. They're engaged over there as well. And Arbuckle, and not that like Levy was something that Arbuckle couldn't do this. I mean, that Brent couldn't do this or with Seth either. But there's almost like, because of the age difference and because of the experience difference, if Brent goes over to Arbuckle and tells him to do something, he's going to sneak and do it. Okay. Yeah. Like there's no chatter back and forth. There's no, whatever that's going to happen. If there needs to be changes, then changes are going to be made. I do think we probably underestimate Mateer's health being a bigger problem, both with his knee and his hand, than what it really is. I do think that, all that being said, Mateer did run for more yards yesterday than the leading rusher in the country did against us. So it wasn't all bad yesterday either.
Yeah. And also, this is not George Stoya took it at my shine a little bit. I actually thought about this. I'm like, I got to mention this on the pod. And he said it on the post-game pod. But I think Mateer is still gun shy from Texas is one thing too. Well, it seems like, do you remember before his injury how he was slinging into coverage? He was throw. It's like one thing that we raved about is that he at least throws it in coverage and tries to lead guys. That doesn't happen anymore. And I think also too, a little bit of it is they're telling him like,
don't turn the ball over.
If you don't make mistakes, you don't turn the ball over, we have a chance to win every single game. And so I think he tells himself that. So there's a lot of reads that maybe he sees.
And I thought yesterday he actually read things better. I thought his accuracy was poor yesterday.
Yeah.
The people, why don't we ever take deep shots? We took at least 3 deep shots to Burks yesterday.
Yeah.
Didn't connect to any of them. Lord knows we don't get a pass interference call on any of those. But a couple of those, I think one was just a really poor non-pass interference call. I felt like one was Burks' fault. He ran his route out of bounds kind of almost from the beginning. And then I felt like one Mateer throws a little better ball. I think we may have a chance to get that as well. And not to let Arbuckle off scot-free, like the 3rd and 2 play, and that was kind of right toward me, where Xavier Robinson gets hurt, and then the next play we throw the kind of deep ball to Stenga. Stenga should have caught that ball. It's and I put this in the group in our group chat yesterday. I didn't like the call because I felt like quarterback power is probably a first down, and I just wanted to churn and go right there. But at the same time, those are the kind of calls and those are kind of catches, those are the kind of plays we're going to have to make to go beat a Notre Dame in 3 weeks, or a Alabama or an Oregon or whoever, that might be. And we're going to have to make multiple of those plays to beat an Ohio State or a Texas A&M the week after that if we can get that far. Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's the whole thing that I was trying to mention is that, like, with the LSU game, LSU's not a gimme. I mean, by any means, they still have LSU talent, but I do feel like they've given up. You can look at that Western Kentucky game yesterday and realize that. But also, too, like, we just got to find, like, even if it's a 17-9 game tomorrow or next weekend, even if it's, that's all we win by. If it's another defensive game, so be it. Just get through 10-2 and then try to get everybody healthy. You got 3 weeks to get healthy. Because Xavier Robinson, it's got to be a big part of our offense. I mean, we've got to, and you say, we don't, turn the ball and hand it off. We don't, but I think we're going to have to start doing some of that if we can get him healthy, because we're going to have to start sustaining these drives, getting some of these. Did you watch Missouri's first 2 drives? What was the whole thing with that? They were getting 6-7 yards per carry on first down. Yeah, 6-7. But okay, I'll never do that again. But they would get these big chunk yards and then set them up second down, where all they got to get like 2 or 3 yards and they got a first down. What happened the minute they got a holding call? It put them behind, and then what we do? We blitz. We get after them. Yeah. It changes, and it's.
That's neither offense yesterday could play 2nd and 8 or longer. And once we got Missouri on that, then it was a wrap. It really was. And those are my biggest frustrations with Mateer. But I do think some of this goes back to maybe I'm naive, maybe I'm a sunshine pumper, but I do think some of this goes back into we're just playing so conservatively of not wanting to put the ball in harm's way, not wanting to do it. When we play fast and aggressive and get a first down, I just feel like we can be better. I feel like we overrun Mateer on first down. Sometimes I'd like to just see him go ahead and give it on the jet sweep, or, go ahead and give it to Robinson, or just hit the quick RPO right there instead of him pulling it back and running. Thought John threw a really good touchdown pass to Giovanni Gibson. I think we finally ran that RPO correctly there. I thought that was a good touchdown pass. And I just stand by Jeremy. I don't think the offense is quite as broken as everybody else. As not everybody else does, but as a lot of people do. I just kind of think we're holding back a little bit, and hopefully I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. But
the Tanga touchdown was a beautifully drawn up play. I mean, they sent him underneath on a kind of crossing route, and it's just like, what do you know? Put it in your game-changing receiver's hands is is a good deal. So,
but the dichotomy of the John Mateer experience yesterday was play before we had an open guy. I think it was Satanga again, and we underthrow him, and you're like, God, John, are you kidding me? Then it was like, yes, touchdown as soon as he catches it. And I'm like, we are so back. It's so over / we're so back. But all in all, wouldn't be a post game pub talking about how awesome our kicker is. Sandell is still the absolute. It is funny. I've had season tickets for a long time, go to most games, this whole millennium, and don't hardly ever remember them announcing starters of special teams, but they did yesterday, and Sandell got, if not the loudest, the second loudest cheer of anybody in the starting lineup. So
I don't see him buying very many beers on campus. I can promise you. I think those are all taken care of.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a game changer for us. I mean, it's like you get to the 40 and you're in field goal range. I thought for a second there where I think it was, I thought Brent might try a real long field goal with him. But then I thought Brent's not going to do that because he's not going to
risk the field position. Yeah.
And also to risk a streak. Because I think at some point Brent's like, I know my defense is going to stop him. Doesn't really matter. But I mean, I felt like if Sandell didn't have a streak going, he might.
If you don't think Brent enjoyed winning that game 17-6, you don't know Brent Venables.
Yeah, that's it. That is a Brent Venables game right there. I mean, that's about as dirty and ugly a
grimy, I think is how he described it.
For sure. But you can tell, like, I don't know if y'all remember this.
It did not bother him at all to load the punt unit back up. I mean, we punted 9 times yesterday, Jeremy. 9. Yeah. We had 9 punts.
And it goes back to talking to Arbuckle and stuff. Do you remember when there's been lots of talk about, the Mahomes-Baker game where Lincoln Riley goes to Bob Stoops and goes, do I need to slow this down some and try to run some clock? And Bob said, you need to score every possession right now. I mean, so I guarantee you that's what Arbuckle goes to Brent and goes, what do you need me to do? And Brent's probably like, slow the game down.
Be conservative.
Be conservative. Don't take a lot of shots. Don't risk turnover. That's what's said. That's what Arbuckle calls. So we can probably get off is Arbuckle going to be back next year? Arbuckle is going to be back. Probably Mateer is going to be back unless just something happens where somebody wants to pay more money. I don't know. I don't think he's going to get a raise from us by any means, but I just feel like we're doing what is asked to win games, and we're playing the style of offense that it takes to win games. I was talking before we got on the pod. They remind me a lot of 2013 LSU, the Jacob Hester year, where it's like they're winning a lot of close games. What did they beat Alabama 6-3? I think is what it was. I mean, about as ugly a football game as you could have. But they won, and then they got to national championship game, and they won another ugly game. And it was like everybody's like, they can't sustain this. But they had such strong defense, all they told their offense is don't lose it. That's all we ask. So I feel like that's kind of our mentality right now too.
Hey, here's the deal, man. When we're nitpicking 11-point wins over ranked teams, it's not a bad thing. And
never.
It's just not. And no matter who you are, if you're watching this pod, you're either a Sooner fan or you're a Texas fan who got here because of the logarithm, in which case,
welcome back.
Welcome back. Glad you're here. Hashtag Team Eddie on the catch versus Eddie thing. So, what a D-bag. But
Jeff Ketchum, who thought it, man? He's just a really cool guy.
Yeah. But, all that being said, we're here. We're happy. We're 10-2. I mean, we're 9-2. We got to go beat LSU, which is something we haven't done since 1949. And I realize we've only played them 3 times since then. But all those LSU losses have had some sting to them because the first 2 were obviously big games, and the last one I was at, so therefore very important to me. So let's just hope that that mini man is being played instead of neck again, and good things are going to be happening next week. But that's for our pod. That's for our Wednesday pod. But any other bows you want to put on this game, Jeremy? And let's not talk about basketball. I don't want to talk about it.
I just checked. It looks
I'm
like
wearing an old school Kelvin hard hustle and hardwood hoodie as I've been working outside. Miss you, buddy. Miss you.
That's one of our buddy Nate said before we got on the pod is, boy, I hope football season lasts a long time. That's it. I think my exact statement was, we are just not good. So, which we aren't. It looks like we're going to pull away from Alcorn State somehow or another. But just very, very pleased. Nothing you can be. I mean, we're playing with house money right now. Like, just beat LSU. I'm going to be a nervous wreck, I know, for that game because I see the end in sight, but it's just you get gun shy from what happened last year, and you're just like, we're not going to screw this up, are we?
Well, and okay, to stop the bedwetting before, guys, if you see some pictures of the game, the students are out on Thanksgiving break, okay? So don't be shocked if that student section isn't full at kickoff or may not be full the entire game. I think it's going to be a great atmosphere, but these games come with something, and I don't want to go deep into it here. We'll try to drop more into this on Wednesday too. But, games like this are why there is some merit to the 7,000 seat reduction, but not taking the 7,000 seats that they're taking. But once again, we don't want to end on negative.
Yeah, we'll get on that. Hey guys, keep subscribing. We're up to 160. I was telling Goss that, I was going through to my wife on our way home from Oklahoma City this morning that I have more subscribers than a lot of these other podcasts that you just wouldn't think. So I was giving myself a little brag and also to tell my wife what she's missing so she doesn't listen to it.
I hope she at least subscribes.
I think her the other night she goes, I guess I should subscribe to that. I mean, at least I don't listen to it, at least subscribe. I'm like, what a jerk. But subscribe to our YouTube channel. Keep following us on Apple and Spotify. And Goss, where can you get us on email?
Soonercast@gmail.com. Have a great week, everybody. We will see you later this week for a little pre-turkey Soonercast. We know you need it to try to avoid family as you go and spend time with them this weekend. Have a great weekend. 9-2, one game away from the playoff, guys. Boomer
Sooner.